Hi everyone, Chad with Data Prep U here. We're going to kick off today's Alteryx Weekly Challenge, our live build of the Weekly Challenge. First, just by giving you a quick little overview and a welcome to everyone. First off, our video last week was a little choppy, so we're still kind of learning this the live stream side of things. But what I do want to point out is that this is in fact a live stream. So if you subscribe to our channel, you will get notifications whenever we do start these live streams. Now, the goal of this is to actually walk through this weekly challenge without any real background. Now, the only thing that I have done so far is actually read the description of the weekly challenge itself. I have not opened it. I haven't even downloaded it yet. The goal is to really introduce everyone to what a real world build scenario looks like. So if you're approaching a problem for the first time, how do we try to think through how to solve that particular challenge? Now, we are going to be doing this with the Alteryx Designer, of course. For those of you who are not aware, we are Data Prep U, a premier Alteryx partner focused on your education around data and analytic platforms. So with that, let's go ahead and shrink down what I've got here so you can actually see my screen. So I'm going to shrink me down, throw myself in the corner a little bit. Now, this weekly challenge is challenge number 289. And the goal is to do a little bit of data preparation using some shoe inventory data. Now, the following data set contains a list of shoes with an ID, color, and size. For this challenge, we will want to clean the inventory data, reorganize the list to have a new ID number, the size, a comment stating how many colors are available, and three columns for the color. Keep in mind that the names of the colors are separated by the /. So that's going to be pretty big. So let's go ahead and download this challenge itself. I'm going to go ahead and just click directly here. So it is an Alteryx package. Let's go ahead and import that Alteryx package. Successful import, and yes. So now as we go through, the first thing that I like to do is just run it. Very first thing right out of the gate is just run this workflow, because what I want to do is actually see what the input looks like as we build this out. Also see the output. So I can see that we've got color 1, color 2, color 3. So this looks like it's actually separating certain things out based off of that delimiter itself. So let's go ahead. I'm going to move my primary visual here over my actual the location of that weekly challenge, just so I can still read through this. But ultimately, what we need to do is start working with this data. Now, another little trick that I personally like to do is actually take this browse tool and pop this out into a new window. Now, I like to do that with our start and our destination. Actually, not our start, I apologize, with our destination here. Now, in doing this, if I click on Actions and then New Window, what I can then do is actually pin this as to be on top. So no matter what, I can always look at what my destination data is supposed to look like over here on the side. So it's kind of out of the way a little bit. I don't have to continually review the output. Now, this can be helpful for a number of scenarios. If you're building a project and you have a goal in mind, an end goal in mind, this serves as a reference guide for us. So we can always look through and even click on our other data sets and have our goal, our destination available to us. So looking at what we have here, here is a specific ID that does not look like this is located within our data, but I do see that we've got a number of different other items in here as well. So certain IDs, these are unique hashes. If I'm looking at this correctly, we've got all of the different colors and sizes. I can also see colors can be separated again by that /. So a couple of things that we also want to point out is that we've got 2,000 records in our source data here. We've also got 2,000 records in our destination. The reason why I'm looking at that is because that immediately tells me we probably don't really have any filters. Okay, we don't have any filters. We don't have any summaries. We don't have any sort of like transpose or crosstab or pivots either. The record counts are going to be the same from the destination, or from the origin and the destination data sets. I also see that these new IDs just appear to increment. Even if I scroll all the way down, I can see that ID number 2000 matches record number 2000. So the very first thing I'm going to do is actually go into my preparation category. I'm going to start with some of the low-hanging fruit here. I'm going to start with the record ID and actually just call this new ID, just like it states here. A quick little run using keyboard shortcuts, Control R. we'll actually run this workflow here, Control R. Now I can actually see that we've got a new ID within this. Now, there's also going to be some comments that we're going to want to actually specify, which looks like if there's anything that's a one color, the first thing we want to do is actually just see if there's any values in some of this additional data. So there's one color, great. If there's two colors or three colors available, then we want to make sure that this particular comment is specific to what we are trying to do. So the next thing I would like to do is actually in the parse category, go to the text to columns and focus on that incoming data here where I can look at those colors and say my delimiter is a /. We are going to have 3 columns. The key though is that we've also got a base root name called color, and they've set theirs as lowercase. Personally, I don't really agree with that, but I'm going to just stay with what is expected within the result here. So Control R one more time just to do a quick check. Color 1, color 2, color 3. Looks like I actually need to select the correct field here at the very least. We'll do another quick rerun. Okay, we've got some good information. I see that we've got some null values in here that I probably want to use the data cleanse on at a specific point. But for the time being, why don't we go ahead and just leave things as is. I can see that I've now got a new ID. I've got these sizes, those match up as well. I've got the different colors 1, 2, and 3, but what I do not yet have is the comment. So let's go ahead and focus on that comment as well. So I'm going to go ahead and run in a formula tool here, and let's go ahead and add a field called comment. I'll leave it as the default just for now. Personally, I like to take this and shrink this down quite a bit on most of the cases, but a VW, variable width string or variable wide string, for those of you who are not familiar with that term, variable means that it can flex a little bit based on allocating the right amount of resources that is necessary for that specific column. But honestly, using something even the size that it's showing could potentially slow down some of that workflow just a little bit. So I'm actually going to change this because it doesn't look like we really need a whole lot. So I'm just going to say 250. Now, within this comment, what we want to do is look at the total number of colors and the total number of values that we have in here. So we essentially need to say if we need to combine and see how many of these. So instead of even doing a comment first, now that I'm even talking through this, I want to see how many values here are populated. So essentially counting the number of distinct values. Now we could do this a number of different ways. Within the formula tool, just trying to think of this, I'm trying to think of a way just to say, you know, if is null color 1 and is null color 2 and is null color 3, then we can actually just say, actually, we don't even need to look for that. I apologize. I'm even going a little bit too far here, because if number 3 is populated, if I'm thinking about this correctly now that I'm thinking through, if color 3 is populated, it means that there is a color 2. So essentially, let's work a little bit backwards in our if-then statement. So if not, actually we can even say exclamation is empty, and we're going to say color 3. Then we want to say 3. I know it's a lowercase. And then else if not is empty. We're going to say color 2. But we need to have that and is empty. Color 3. Then this one will be 2 colors available, else 1 and if. All right, let's check this out. I'm going to do a quick run here. So we've got 1 color, 2 colors available here. If you weren't familiar, if you use the isEmpty function, that is whether or not there is no value in here at all or a null value. So let's try to do a quick little check. 3 colors available, looks great. So my last 2 items here is let's do a quick little data cleanse. I just go ahead and replace or clean up some of the leading and trailing spaces. We want to also, or essentially just do that, clean up some of those spaces in there. But then finally in that select, let's make sure we have the new ID We do not want the old ID. We don't want the actual colors because we have color 1, 2, and 3. But what we do want is new ID, then sizes. We want to move this comment up just a little bit. Do one more quick run. Let's take a look. We have 2,000 records, 6 of 6 fields. So we got 6 fields available here. New ID, sizes, comment, color 1, 2, and 3. The one thing that I am seeing now, and just to do a quick double check, is that first color for the size of 8, one color available. Does that show up as black? Yep. And then just doing another quick little check here to make sure that, again, there weren't any like sort of spins or anything like that. Looks like we've got black multicolor for those colors with 2 colors available, 9.5 available. So there are a couple ways of checking this if we really, really want to get detailed. We could actually go through and run a quick join off of every single value that we have and just check and see if 39 kilobytes here, and this is not really showing my kilobytes. Let's do a quick run. There are a couple different ways of doing this. Look, this is exactly the same, 39 to 39. If we really want to check our work, though, there are a couple of different ways we could do that. One is just going to be, depending on the type and nature of our data. So I'm going to go through and just try to do a quick little check on every single value in here. So color 1, color 2, and color 3. We're doing a join across all of these. Now, do we have, 1961. So we do have a few that did not check out. So number 8, ID number 8, 2 colors available, black and silver. This one does say 8, size 6, 2 colors available, black and silver. Oh, the sizes. All right, that's where we have a certain bit of information that is not quite clear. So in some cases, the size will say size. In other cases, it does not say that. So look at record or new ID number 192. It actually has nothing in here. So this is a key here that we missed, all right, or I missed. So let's go back and check out those sizes. What is our, right now, so let's say record number 8 does say size 6 under sizes. So we want to actually remove our output. They're just removing any additional information in there. So if it is only, we're essentially removing the word size from our data. So let's go into that sizes here under sizes. And let's say we want to do a replace function. Replace, and then we want to do sizes. And the target here is actually the word size. And I'm even going to put a space in here. Now, that's probably not really what I would recommend in general. I'd probably put a trim around that. But in this case, actually, you know what? We're doing a data cleanse right after that anyway, so I'm going to just even remove that space. So replace the size. So if we take a look at this, previously this says size 6. After this, it just says 6, 5, and 8. If we go to after the data cleanse, that's nicely cleaned up. Looking now at the left and right, we've got the sizes will say one size. And then there's also women FTS US shoe size. Let's see what that looks like. Shoe. For some reason they've kind of thrown this for a loop a little bit. So the size in our example, our expected output, does still exist. The word size does exist in that description. So we need to keep that. So that's going to be more of a trim left. We also need to replace that one where it's just an S as well. So one size, and that says 1. So let's go back in here, and instead of a replace, what I'd like to do is a trim left. And in this case, we're going to do that size. And now, of course, that's really, the word size is looking really weird to me right now for some reason. But hey, okay. Let's go ahead and check this out. How many joined records? How many unjoined records? 0 unjoined left records, 0 unjoined right. There we go. Now we've got everything set up properly. Removing that size value and then doing a quick little data cleanse on here, make sure or ensures that all of our data matches exactly. All right. I hope that you enjoyed this weekly challenge number 289. We will be posting this in the community, of course, along with our solution if you're interested. If you're interested also in just learning more about further education around the entire Alteryx platform, please get in touch with us. You're welcome to make some comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so you can be involved in these live builds of the weekly challenge. Where we will actually be working together on this. I'm also even monitoring the chat in this as well, so we can work together. The goal is to be collaborative. So if you do want to learn more, though, about Alteryx or about your analytic education in terms of other platforms such as Snowflake, Tableau, Power BI, and more. We do specialize in multiple different disciplines. Please reach out to our team at support@dataprepu.com. Look forward to seeing you in our next session. Thanks so much, everyone, and